Hello and welcome to another edition, episode 79 of the Are You Ready Wrestling podcast here on Newport City Radio. This week, I'm Luke and I'm going to kick off the podcast by talking about Randy Orton winning the men's Elimination Chamber match.
Hi, I'm Jack. For my segment this week, I'll be talking about the women's Elimination Chamber winner, Rhea Ripley.
Indeed we will. It's still just us, Oos. It's just me and you, Jack.
Yes,
hopefully we'll be back up to the full complement of all of us next week for the podcast. Fingers crossed. If you're listening, Curtis, I hope you had a fun holiday and can't wait to have you back with us. There's only one place to begin, Jack.
Yes, there is.
I'm cursing you. Danhausen was in the box.
He was in the box.
After 2 weeks of being stuck in that thing, Saturday morning, I woke up to see on social media that Danhausen had been removed from the AEW roster page, which then I think all but confirmed to me that it was going to be him in the box at Elimination Chamber. Because we were saying, I think last week, who could it be? What could it be? Could it be Chris Jericho? Could it be... It had to be. It was a person size, you know. It wasn't like a small box or whatever. So it was a person.
Someone was in there.
So
and
it was Danhausen. I hope he's and some female Hausens as well. I hope that they are all okay after being stuck in a box for 2 weeks or however long it is.
I think it was 2-3 weeks. I think.
How did you find the debut? Because I've seen mixed reactions on social media.
Very mixed. I think I'm on the bandwagon of mixed. Because it's very, very strange. Just the way he came out. He was like mine was like a vampire-ish.
That's his gimmick.
Thing, yeah.
So he's supposed to be like a ghouly vampire.
Yeah.
But he's like another R-Truth. He's he's not going to be like a Seth Rollins who is going to be a top level wrestler. He's good in the ring.
Yeah.
But he's more on the comedy side of things compared to
basically he's another comedy character.
In a way.
In sort of a way. I particularly like the fact that he handed Cole some teeth.
Again, that's another part of his gimmick.
That was a kind of a cool.
That's another part of his
cool
gimmick.
Thing. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it was very flat.
Do you think this is the thing with WWE fans? Well,
mystery.
Because they've had like 2 weeks to speculate on what it could be, who it could be. As I mentioned, Jericho. People have said, or some other big names or something. I think I said last week it could be like a 2K26.
Yeah.
Thing in there, but no, it was Danhausen. Do you think people have kind of, especially with, and this could be kind of like the boy who cried wolf kind of scenario where Triple H always says big surprises, big names, big this, big that, and then he doesn't deliver, and when he does deliver we knew it would be Danhausen because obviously he was removed from the AEW roster page the morning of.
Yeah.
But when you do get a surprise that, a debut like that, and people are a bit on the fence with it, do you think that's kind of a consequence of some of Triple H's words and promises?
Yeah, it's just the way he phrases stuff is the consequences to his booking at the moment. But he has delivered as I'll come on to later. The whole pay-per-view was pretty solid.
It was a pretty good pay-per-view, premium live event. First premium live event / pay-per-view to take place in the United Center, obviously famously home of the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
30 years in WWE. 30 years since they've been there. And I think personally speaking, they delivered a pretty solid show.
Yeah.
We'll come on to my reasoning as to why I think that towards the end when we make our way through the different segments and whatever. But we're going to kick off this week by talking about the men's chamber match, which main evented, which I get why it main evented.
Yeah.
And I get that, Punk, we knew he was going to beat Finn Balor because obviously the match at Mania against Roman Reigns is too too big to turn down, and we know probably the direction for Finn Balor next with the Judgment Day, and probably going to face Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. But if it was a bigger match for Punk, maybe someone of a Roman Reigns caliber, do you think that would have main evented over the men's chamber match?
Yes, I think, but you could technically count it as like a main event thing where they were treating it as a sort of high profile match for Punk, the way he sort of came out and the way his entrance was delivered, which I particularly liked personally.
Yeah, we'll come on to Punk against Balor towards the end. Yeah, the men's match main evented, and I feel sorry for them because you have your, we've seen Unreal, we see how, how early they like to plan these events and book the events and then, get the storyline behind it and the creative and all that. But when, as we come to see, when one of your main players in this match, in Bronson Reed, gets injured on Monday Night Raw,
it changes
less than a week before the event's supposed to happen, it does change things, doesn't it?
It's they made they scrambled something together, which I particularly like how fast they acted on this,
because
instead of obviously leaving it to last minute.
Because with the benefit of hindsight, there had to be a Vision member in this match.
Yeah,
there had to be.
Yeah, for what?
Because I was just sat with you and you were catching up on it because you felt you missed the main event of the night, Jack. How could you?
I was fell asleep.
He says as he hasn't done that himself in the past, but
yes,
yeah, there had to be a Vision member in this match because after I think it was October he got injured, wasn't it? In the what was the event called? Crown Jewel was out in Australia.
Yeah.
We had the return of Seth freaking Rollins.
Yes, he's back.
He's back. Normally at this point on the road to WrestleMania, we have an inkling of who people might face.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar, we think probably will face Obafemi, we hope.
Oh, but yeah, a lot of people were chanting Oba when his
if Brock Lesnar doesn't have that long left, I think he's even said himself. So you want to get these matches done when you have the capability to do them, don't you?
Yeah.
AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, we'll come on to that, but we can see that going on to race WrestleMania, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor. It feels a bit up in the air with Seth Rollins, and I'll tell you for why, Jack, and for you listening at home. We don't know when Bron Breakker's going to be back from injury.
No, he's still...
Bron was the one to initiate the turn on Seth. If Seth is going to face anyone at WrestleMania, it's going to be Bron.
It's got
in an ideal world, if anyone is going to face Seth from the Vision, Bronson, okay. They've got history before the Vision. Seth brought him into the Vision. That would have made sense. Do I want to see Seth and Logan Paul again, considering we saw a WrestleMania 39? No. Are we going to see Seth versus Austin Theory at WrestleMania? No. Considering there are theories and speculation about, is Austin Theory working with Seth Rollins? Has he tried to get himself into the Vision to just be an inside man for Seth Rollins? That could still be the case. Who would you like to see Seth face at WrestleMania? Bear in mind, Bron Breakker was probably, touch and go whether he's back in time for WrestleMania. Yeah. Is it worth risking him if he's not 100% going into WrestleMania? I mean, we saw what Seth Rollins was like at Mania 40 when... Do you remember that main event between Roman and Cody where he could barely walk to the ring?
How can I forget that? Yeah. I think it was his back. I think was the main issue that he was struggling with, like I could see. But yeah, I think obviously all depending on if Braun Breaker is ready in time Braun Breaker's the likely candidate for Seth to face, just to sort of as a payoff to this whole sort of feud that they've got going on at the moment.
Would you like to see the Vision be done with at WrestleMania, and we see something different coming out of WrestleMania, or do you think, it is kind of working and we could see it go on past WrestleMania?
I mean, there's parts of me could see it done at Mania, especially with Paul Heyman possibly doing stuff with Lesnar in the near future, with his I think his retirement coming up soon. I think they'd be the best to put the Vision on hold till they're ready, I suppose.
Because the Vision was the Seth Rollins group, wasn't it? He set it up after WrestleMania last year with Paul Heyman and all that, and so Seth is back. He cost Logan Paul, and I know you were looking at me as if to say, why is he eliminating everyone? Just bear in mind that was supposed to be what Bronson Reed was supposed to do. And so obviously they've just they've kind of angled it to be a bit more, heelish and a bit more cheat to pin kind of thing. For Logan Paul, rather than what we probably would have saw with Bronson Reed. But that is supposed to be what he was supposed to do, and obviously that's why Jey Uso was attacked on SmackDown, and that's why, because obviously he wasn't supposed to be in the match. And considering that WWE didn't have, from Monday to Friday they had to come up with something. I think they did a okay job.
They done very well, especially for how sort of late on the injury was to Bronson. I think it was like a week or so out. It was
Monday on Raw, wasn't it? So just under a week.
Just under a week or so out from the Chamber. They've sort of managed to put this all together, which is really nice to see. Them just not giving up on one of the most high-profile matches of the event.
Let's move into the Chamber. We spent 13 minutes talking about other things. The winner was Randy Orton.
It was.
Not Cody Rhodes, which I think we sat here last week and said, please don't be Cody. But what this, to me, is a clear indication of, and I'm not sure if you feel the same, is that we will see a Fatal 4-Way match at WrestleMania with Drew, Cody, Randy, Fatu.
That there is an indication for that, especially after what Nick Aldis has sort of said on the post show with Drew defending against Cody next Friday.
Yes, so after the event, obviously Drew McIntyre cost Cody. He started attacking him. Cody hit him with a crossroads, Randy hit him with an RKO, and then as Cody was getting back to his feet, Randy saw the opportunity, hit him with an RKO, pinned him 1, 2, 3. How excited were you to see Randy win?
I was over the moon. As like I say, I'm one of Randy Orton's biggest supporters over the last few years. He deserves this immensely after the work he's done over the past few months.
I mean, all that considering he was out for 2 and a bit years as well, wasn't he, with a neck injury. So,
I'm one of those people that would want to see a Fatal 4-Way. It just all depends on how they play it. They could have
Jacob Fatu interferes maybe on the main event on SmackDown.
Like that could be a possible route they could go down.
But then, would you see that as a bit boring and a bit predictable that he does interfere? And
well, Well,
we do see
not necessarily because
a disqualification or whatever.
He has obviously precedence for interfering because he's been cost. I think once or twice out of a match with Drew. So there is a case for Fatu to be involved.
Or do we see this going the other way and Fatu costs Drew the title and Cody wins it?
There's always been part of me that has wanted Randy Orton and Cody at Mania. So I can't.
I think ever since Cody Rhodes returned back in 2022 now, I believe people have said that that's the match that they want to see.
I can't rule it out at the moment.
No. Yeah. Where does Nick Aldis play into all this, Jack?
Oh, wow.
Because on the post-show...
Very heated.
He was very animated towards Drew McIntyre. That's been pulled away by Adam Pearce. Could we see Nick Aldis lace up his boots again one more time to face Drew McIntyre? Could we see it at WrestleMania?
I think we could, yeah. That is a high possibility, with especially with Mania sort of being this probably the highest profile event in wrestling history, especially with what they've been doing over the past few years with like sort of this. Even though he's not really a celebrity as such, he's a general manager. They've done it with like say like Kurt previously before, and a few other sort of people that have come into this business and had sort of roles backstage, and they've sort of played into a storyline with one certain wrestler, and it culminates in a match, which I could see a possibility, because Nick Aldis is not in bad shape. Personally, I think he can still go. I think.
I mean, he only finished wrestling just before he came into WWE.
Oh wow!
Because he was wrestling in TNA just before he got to WWE. So you know he hasn't been out the ring for that long compared to some others. That, you know, AJ Lee was her first singles match last night in, was it 11 years?
11 years, yeah.
So
I think it was 11 years since she won a title, but it was like 10 or 11 since she wrestled a singles match.
Yeah. So I hope we see Nick Aldis again. That would be a fun little storyline to do at WrestleMania. And it's just something a little bit different, isn't it? And when WWE feels a bit creatively bankrupt at the moment, something a little bit different like that might be useful.
It's sort of just add sort of another spark to the event.
And a storyline that we, you know, when was the last time we saw a general manager kind of get so angry with one of his wrestlers that we see them face off at WrestleMania? We saw the Authority with Triple H.
Rollins. Was the one I
and that storyline.
Kurt, possibly. I think. Sorry. Shane and Owens, I think, was one.
Okay.
I remember briefly.
Anything else you want to mention about this men's chamber match? I feel like Javon Evans and Trick Williams didn't really get the spotlight, and LA Knights probably didn't really get the spotlight that they were sort of
slightly glossed over, in my opinion. But I particularly like some of the spots that Javon Evans was doing, especially sort of off the cage, sort of, as he says, he's bouncy. So he was doing all these sort of high profile moves, and you had sort of the likes of Cody's trying to sort of stop him from getting up to speed, because once he goes, he's quite quick.
Yes, he really is.
As we've seen,
Jack.
At another chamber match that also took place was the women's Elimination Chamber match. It kicked off Elimination Chamber, which
I mean, that's kind of that's the norm with things like this. You have one gimmick match start the event. Royal Rumble, for example, it was the same way or same order. Women's start, men's main event. War Games, men start.
Yeah.
Women start, men's main event. It does seem to be going that way for these events, with then singles matches or tag team matches or whatever in the middle.
Sort of foreseeable future, yeah. Personally, it started off a bit slow in my opinion until Bliss came in for me. Then it sort of picked up pace wise, but yeah, and another standout for me was Raquel pinning two people at once. We haven't seen that since I think Roman.
No, I know. At that point,
which was
I was listening to a wrestling podcast the other day, WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select, and they theorized. And when I heard it, I think I messaged you or our group page. I thought it was a pretty cool idea about Raquel winning and then making it a triple threat match at WrestleMania with her, Liv, and Stephanie.
That would have been interesting.
Kind of the odds are against Stephanie Vaquer, but we know that the end of the Judgment Day is pretty much on the horizon.
Pretty near.
We feel
it's very near.
We feel like that's about to implode.
I think by the end of Mania it'll be done.
Yeah, me too.
It'll be done.
So that could have, and then during that match we could have seen a turn, but
yeah, we didn't.
They made it very clear that the winner of this match was to face Jade Cargill at WrestleMania.
Yeah, they made it quite clear. Obviously, my pick, Bliss got eliminated early. She was
wasn't she the first person to be eliminated?
She was the first person to be eliminated, thanks to I think Asuka missed. And then she got pinned.
Yeah, as soon as Bliss was eliminated, I knew that Rhea was going to win.
But then it gets down to Rhea. Was it Tiffany? Tiffany.
I just knew WWE wouldn't run back a storyline.
I was like, please don't let. We've seen Tiffany versus Jade before. Countless times. I was just. At that point I was just praying for them to sort of go a different direction, which they did. Rhea Ripley is your Elimination Chamber winner for the women. She heads to Mania in Las Vegas to face Jade Cargill.
Yes, she does. Right winner?
Yes, well deserved.
I mean, like you say, we don't want to see Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill again. We've seen it too many times. Alexa Bliss I would have got because Jade Cargill has had some face-offs recently with Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
So I thought they could have played into that, the fact it's Alexa getting the match against her, not Charlotte Flair. I still Charlotte mad, and they could have turned her and all that.
I still think the turn is going to happen for Bliss. Eventually, I think the next few weeks will be crucial to this match building up between Bliss and Charlotte.
Do you see it happening at WrestleMania?
Yes, because you it doesn't need a title. This type of match, especially with them being a tag team.
I mean, can we just, as soon as the moment for me, I think I realised that Rhea would be the winner, was Friday Night SmackDown.
Oh yeah,
when her and Io Sky lost the tag team titles to Lash Legend, and Nia Jax is champion again. Everybody,
no, not a fan. No,
not a fan of Lash Legend and Nia Jax. Why not?
No, just no.
Just no, is it?
Yeah, just no.
What do you see Io Sky doing at WrestleMania? Because we know what Alexa's doing. What Rhea's doing, sorry.
That's actually a difficult one. Because she hasn't been sort of penciled in with anyone at the moment. Since losing the tag team titles, I think Rhea wanted to sort of apologise on Twitter. They had sort of a back and forth saying, Io said, "Don't apologise, it's fine." So I think that's them sort of saying, obviously, it's a mutual end to their sort of partnership for now. I think as Rhea goes off and 100% wins the belt.
You think she'll be Jade Cargill?
Yes. I don't.
I think
I've been on the bandwagon for a while. I'm not a massive fan of Jade. I agree. She's a good worker. She's done all right since debuting, but they just haven't utilised her enough.
Okay.
In certain storylines, in my opinion.
The other name I want to throw at you to see what you think they're going to do at WrestleMania is Tiffany Stratton.
Well, I think I've said this.
Who will be on Tiffy time at WrestleMania?
Before, she potentially could. I know she's been in the title scene for a while. I think it's time for her to sort of branch out and win some more belts.
You talk about the United States Championship?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think the IC title's pretty occupied at the moment. So I think she'll enter in a feud with the United States Champion.
Julia.
Which is Julia, yeah. I think that'll be built up in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Somehow or some way. Some shape or form, maybe.
Could you see Tiffany's kind of had a back and forth with Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
Could we maybe see like a multi-woman match or a ladder match or something like that?
I think there's been calls for a ladder match to feature on Mania for a while, which I would love to see. Whether it's the women or the men. Like matches like that need to be on Mania just to sort of elevate the card even more.
Yeah,
you'd think anyway.
You'd want all your big names on WrestleMania, considering that me and Curtis sat here a couple of weeks ago and said they haven't sold that many tickets compared to last year.
No, well, I think there was going by numbers. I think the attendance was like 19,000 or so at the Chamber, which is not a bad number. It's a decent number. Sell out, yeah.
So that's good.
But I usually they didn't have anyone come out and just announce the attendance, which I
not like a Stephanie McMahon or Triple H or whatever, but they did have the ring announcer do it.
The ring announcer, yeah.
Which is quite cool. Any other thoughts on the women's chamber match?
It was well deserved from Rhea to win.
Yes,
I think.
Agreed. Talk to me about the women's intercontinental title. We have a new champion.
We do. I think this is the second power couple, ironically next to Becky and Seth, who were champions at the time.
Well, Seth was World Heavyweight Champion, and
Becky was
women's intercontinental champion.
Yeah. So I'm very pleased with this match. AJ Lee performed really well.
Considering it was her first singles match in 11 years. I think they said either Wade Barrett said or they said in the post-show that, there's a difference between wrestling in like a War Games where you've got people on your same team to kind of help you. And what was the other match she was in? The tag match with Punk.
Match, yeah.
There's a difference between that and being in a solo match or a singles match.
Yeah.
It's a massive difference.
I sort of really like the sort of finish between it with Jessica Carr getting involved. Again, that sort of...
Is that the angle we could see to get
that sort of
us to WrestleMania?
mini thing that's going on between the Becky and Jessica. Surprisingly, obviously, nice to see that AJ taps out Becky for third time, I think.
I think so.
Third
Didn't
time.
pin her.
So she's got a streak now against Becky. Yeah, I think AJ Lee will hold this now until maybe a few months after Mania.
You think she'll retain at Mania?
At least a couple of... It all depends on who they choose to have wrestle her again. They could potentially do
it'll be Becky Lynch
with Becky. Yeah,
I think it'll be Becky Lynch.
But yeah, there's no one really that could challenge. Maybe
Roxanne Perez.
Maybe
we know the history between Roxanne or the admiration that Roxanne has for AJ Lee, and crediting her for being such a big wrestling fan and being Wrestlers Today. And
could sort of throw out is Bailey, because I think AJ Lee's been quite vocal wanting to face Bailey.
Yeah,
I think I seen somewhere that she obviously said that she's enjoying the sort of work she's doing at the moment.
I could also see that happen.
But yeah, I think that's a route they could go down if they potentially don't get Becky for a rematch.
But for now, I think it will be Becky. As you say, the solid match. It wasn't anything spectacular. It was a good, solid match for AJ Lee's first solo match in 11 years in the company. Talk to me about the other match. The WrestleMania main event, they're going to argue is the biggest in history, is still intact. CM Punk defeats Finn Balor.
Oh, it was incredible. Just the way both men performed, it was 10 out of 10 for me. Like what usually Dave Meltzer says, a 5-star. I'd say a 5-star from Finn did incredibly well.
Who needs Meltzer's ratings when you have the Jack ratings?
Sort of dealing with.
Do you want your own newsletter?
Possibly. Yeah, he done incredibly well with sort of weathering the sort of storm from Punk out the gate. He's the one that sort of pushed Punk to the limits. Even I think Punk's agreed that Finn Balor's one of his toughest opponents, I think. And I particularly liked the show of respect at the end. I thought there was going to be some shenanigans go on at the end with them two facing off, but no, it was just a simple sort of handshake, and Finn just left. I was particularly expecting Dom to sort of inadvertently sort of try to help Finn win. So was I. And then eventually cost him, and then that leads to. But they'll still do Dom versus Finn 100%, I think, at Mania somehow, because I think the Judgment Days, as I've said, the stuff is coming to an end.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see Dominic Mysterio or JD McDonough or both just trying to interfere, and that ended up would cost Finn Balor, but we didn't see that. So I don't know how they're going to play it on Monday Night Raw now going forward, but that's still the match I think we're going to see at WrestleMania. Dominic Mysterio. I mean, he faces Penta for the Intercontinental title on Monday, so I'm sure that we could see some shenanigans there. And on the road to WrestleMania, it's always unpredictable. I mean, we knew that Punk was going to retain. That was pretty much obvious from as soon as the match started and the match was announced, because why would you... Finn Balor, Roman Reigns isn't as big of a WrestleMania main event as CM Punk versus Roman Reigns.
No. In the grand scheme of things, no. But it was a obvious choice from the company to to go with CM Punk to win.
What did you think of Punk's entrance?
Oh, it was brilliant. As I think the commentator said, it adds a bit of a sort of nostalgia to it, and
yes, because that was the same entrance or similar entrance as the Chicago Bulls made during when Michael Jordan played for them, and they were really successful in the 90s and all that. So very nostalgic, and we know we can't disassociate. Well, when we think of Chicago, we think of CM Punk. So yeah, that was a pretty cool moment to see, and I hope
especially with him having sort of the Larry
forever. That was a bit emotional,
on his jacket.
You could see that meant a lot to him.
Yeah, that was a wholesome moment.
It was, and when WWE was saying that they've been out in the community in the week, and as they always do, they went to the dog centre, where they got Larry from. So
was it? Oh wow,
that was So that was a bit emotional, and
that was nice.
Just nice to see, and
nice moment for the two.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you want to play into the crowd, don't you? So they're going to want to... I mean, AJ Lee isn't from Chicago, but she now lives in Chicago, and obviously Punk is Chicago, so... Yeah, I just think that... Overall, I thought that was a pretty good event. You know, there's question marks over Danhausen, but I like that, and... I just think it was a pretty solid premium live event, and we've sat here and talked about more good than we have bad, which feels like a rarity for the past couple of months.
Especially the last couple of months with the way Triple H has been booking things. Like we've said about surprises and stuff. I think it's definitely a bounce back from what the Rumble was. There's a lot more positivity there. A lot more to go on, especially with Mania only being 50 or so days away now.
It's not far away.
Not far away.
There's no more premium live event stops.
So we have much more of a clear ish picture of where things are going at the moment.
We do indeed. I'm very much looking forward to WrestleMania. Hopefully you are too. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another edition of the Are You Ready Wrestling podcast. We'll see you soon.